This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
You were mated.
Movie reviews and more. Hey, it's been a weird day. Hey, but I've been looking forward to the show because all the way from Thailand, we have Peruquois. And I wanted to make sure I got her name correctly because I watched her videos. I love her voice. Very, very spiritual. I call her straight from Mother Earth. She says that too, but she really is. Her, I got to introduce Howard Wiggins from Nashville, Tennessee. Howard Wiggins looks really stylish today, obviously. And the one and nonstop Terri Marie from Redondo Beach, California. All right, I got to open this up. I got to ask you, how did you get your name? Because it's so unique, first of all. And then talk about your singing voice. I know you've heard this a lot, but that voice is magnificent.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's a tricky name to pronounce, Peruquois. It was a name my mother's sister gave it to me, and she's a crazy woman. She's a psychic, known as the black sheep in the family. So she was the one that gave me these very unusual names.
How about what it's like to perform for you? I mean, just being, because I believe I'm an Indian, I'm a Pequot Indian, so I kind of can relate to your name a little bit. For me, it's all about getting back to Mother Earth, having those sound vibrations and touching people's hearts and their souls. What do you say about that? Because you touch people's hearts and souls.
Absolutely. Well, originally, I was trained as a jazz singer, but I really understood that there was a quality or a potential in the human voice to do more than just say entertain people, more than just to touch people emotionally. It's important, but there's another level of vibration, and because we are vibration, for me, I went on a very deep journey transforming that singer from the, I was a well-trained jazz singer, etc., but I went to a deeper place, and it was through that very deep thirst of the soul to understand how could I heal myself, how could I restore this sense of love. I thought at this time in my life, in my mid-20s, that I was very disconnected from myself, from the earth, from life, like very lost and very lonely and quite stressed as an artist, going up and down on the emotional roller coaster, on and off stage, alcohol, etc. And I went to a very deep awakening, and that's what very much woke up this quality of enormous capacity to touch something deeper than my personal self. And that was through making connection with Earth Spirit. And I had this experience one day where I was very, very close to jumping off the side of a mountain. I was in a suicidal phase. And this energy came up from the mountains, from the ocean, from the earth, and it just took me in, like vibrational feeling up through the body, and it took me inside, and I started to emulate what I was hearing, which was the wind, the ocean, those very powerful primal elements. And once I started to mimic these sounds, it was though I merged with them. And a realization came from that. I'm not safe. A realization I'm not alone. A realization came, there's this incredible love that is flowing up through our mother planet, through every, she's vibration. She's vibrating through every car, truck, through wind, through all the elements of life. And once I with that, I realized that my voice had an incredible capacity to transmit the vibration of that wholesome love. I mean, it's true. Anybody has that capacity when they merge with the earth. It's just that we've become so disconnected. So, you know, what arose for me from learning how to sing with her, and that's a whole nother story, because it's interesting you mentioned you have native roots there. For me, it happened because I made a promise to the earth, and I said to her, if there's any way I can sing to wake up this vibration in all of my, you know, human family, show me how to do it. And about 2 weeks later, a Native American medicine man came into my life and basically explained to me, you know, he said, I've been waiting for you. And I said, how can you help me to sing for this kind of healing? And he said, yes, I can help you, but there's a little price for it. That's a whole other story. But, you know, whenever we ask for something from life, it starts to wake up in us, then normally it happens in a way that's least expected. And normally it means a massive transformation inside. And that's what happened to me. A lot of healing, a lot of releasing of ego and pain, things, to be able to be a clean channel, to be able to transmit that big open or that big love that then was experience and now is daily experience. So that's what happens. Concert stage is a way for me to be able to transmit this vibration to help us all recognize this enormous love holding us from within the body itself and from within the earth. So that's the root of my music.
So Terri, I heard a bunch of her songs.
Describe music as sounds and not words. You describe your music as sounds and not words.
I didn't catch that. Could you say that again, please?
Would you describe music as sounds and not words? Sounds and not words?
Yeah, I got it. Originally, when this voice started to came in, something very primal that you don't really hear so much, except for in more native style singing on the planet. But then as I grew myself inside, you know, as I kind of let go of a lot of this ego and this identity that said, oh, I want to heal the world, you know, even that had to crash. And having a teacher helped me to clean a lot of stuff. And as the cleaning of that pain, something grew inside of me. That was where the composer, the jazz singer, and the sound of the earth started to merge into words, and that started to merge into songs. And if you look at my music now, there's a lot of it on YouTube, you'll see that there's all kinds of flavors woven into my music. So there are primal sounds in there, absolutely, but then there's themes of awakening, themes of love, about making love, about all kinds of things to help us to grow ourselves. And they're very much in form, but they're sometimes in feelings or styles of jazz, of soul, of tribal music, of Indian classical. So it is a fusion very much of sound and words.
Terri, I was thinking about a couple of the songs, and I immediately thought about the transformation that you're going through. and it made me appreciate her voice because I thought about you, and then I thought about where Howard is in his career, what he's doing, how stylish he is, just his level of just the way he dresses, the way he presents himself, and it was really interesting.
So where are you located again? You said you're in Thailand? Is that what you said?
Currently, I'm in Thailand.
Okay.
I'm on downtime at the moment, which is perfect place to be on downtime. But a lot of the time, I'm located in Eastern Europe, in Russia, or Europe. But mostly, actually, at the moment, I'm in Russia a lot, which is a very controversial place to be in the world, and also a very powerful place to be in the world.
I am a big travel person. I absolutely love to travel. I think that you gain a wealth of knowledge about the world and other people by traveling. I don't understand people that don't like to leave their bubble. And I think from each culture you can learn something. I mean, do you put that into your music about like different cultures or different people you meet? Do you incorporate anything like that in there?
Most definitely, it has a huge influence because this is the way I look at life too. I mean, I'm totally agreeing with you about travel. It's been a huge part of my life. I started traveling when I was 24, when I met this Native American medicine man. And my first journey was to America, to a high desert country in New Mexico. And the first thing that happened for me being in that land, that dry place, that place of very powerful place actually, was I definitely absorbed like a sponge this vibration that is there. There's something ancient woven into that land there that has a certain way of singing, you know. You know, it's very native, you know, but as I've traveled around the world, you know, the music for me has been one of those threads that has guided me, led me, inspired me to go to many different countries. So one of them, for example, was India. And India is an incredible place. If people are going through transformation, this is the place to go because your whole world that you understand is going to get torn apart, but something new is going to be born, something very deep, something very rich. And for me, I draw a huge influence of this quality that came from the Vedas or this ancient culture of the raga, which is the Indian classical form of like, you have saregama, you know, in the West, and in India they have saregama, etc. And so the root sounds of the culture are very, very different. Then there's the Middle East that I've traveled in, and you've got a lot of flourishes, you know, in the voice. There's a lot of devotion in India and East, and you see it in the culture and you hear it in the music. And so a lot of in-between notes, a lot of subtleties that infuse into your music once you start to drink from that pot. You know? And then I've traveled also a lot in Europe, and that had another influence in the music in that I was in Amsterdam, some of the Nordic countries, and there's a very kind of cool factor there in the music. I was there in the birth time of chill out, and chill out became infused, and that's about certain kinds of cool beats that have this quality kind of chill down the culture a bit because it's very stressy, kind of more mental there. And so I definitely drew influence from being in Europe with chill out factor. But, you know, the interesting thing about traveling the world is musically, with that music as being the thread, is that the question I kept asking myself everywhere I traveled was, this is how the music expresses itself here. But what is the root of all music? You know, what is that connection? And I realized that it is feminine energy. that rises like that vibration, you know, and every country that feminine vibration, you know, and again, I come back to the original thought that underneath every culture is a land spirit, and inside of that is an enormous love, and it has certain flavors to each country. So it's incredibly rich for us when we can drink not just the alcohol, the food, or whatever country, spend time in the land there, jump into the nature there, and really mix with the native people. And then we start to fill our cup up, transform our smaller mind into much bigger.
How would you describe your followers?
How would I describe my followers?
Yeah,
Well,
many different cultures.
Yeah, I mean, my current followers come from about 63 countries, but essentially, I would say, in terms of percentage, I have about 80% women followers, and I think that is because of my devotion of my to find out how to heal a woman and open her up, because one of the places where how and practice, like the practice of practice using the voice to heal the I found that side create a lot of practices that have been devoted to helping women heal themselves, balancing, heal issues with emotional pain, baby, to make, and a lot of my followers are women. So if I had, for example, last month I had a concert in Moscow, I had 2,000 people audience, and I had maybe 5,000 or more of those women. Like this.
Awesome.
There's a great photo of you that we were showing while you were talking, of you out in the mountains, and then of you with the roses on the stage and everybody's lighting the things. I love seeing that. What does it do spiritually as that woman? What does that do for you?
What does that do for me as a woman, did you say?
Yeah, that one right there. What does that do for you?
This is, you know, this is an incredible moment. I have to tell you the root of what that picture for me means, you know. When I was 24 and I married a Native American, I went to him and I said, I don't really know what I'm here to do fully, and I want to know directly from the self. He said, okay, then I'm going to put you out of the mountain, you're going to cry for me. You're going to go and fast for 4 days and 4 nights, no food, no water. And you're going to ask the soul itself, you know, you're going to ask the Mother Earth, ask creation, what is it here to do, right? And so I went to this incredibly challenging, difficult ceremony. And near the end of the ceremony, I had a vision. And in this vision, I was shown traveling over the planet. At the end of each hill or mountain or city I was in, there was a group of people and I was teaching. And it seemed like over time, those groups were getting bigger. And then I saw myself in black, like in the void, and I was standing on it in the void. And then all of a sudden, that void lit up like millions of stars, you know, and it was so beautiful. And I could, when after I visioned my what does it mean? He said, eventually this will be, you'll see the audience will come and be like stars. Well, back in the, you know, so there were no mobile phones then, right? And in that concert, I think I'm in Moscow in that concert a few years back, and I wrote a song about dreams, about awakening and what they're here for. And everyone lights up their torch, and it's suddenly the realization of that vision, you know, that it's like a seed of stars, the cosmos. And I was just crying in that moment because it was the realization of a vision that I had carried at that stage for about 25 years. So it's very profound when you understand it's not about the mobile phone, but these people are stars in the blackness. My job is in that moment on that stage is to unify everybody to the source side where they're connected to their inner person, where they're bright, you know, to wake them up and to be shining, you know, and the mobile phone is a symbol that I can see them on stage, it's black. Oh. So suddenly I can see them, and it's just light like stars in the.
So your music is fed by the audience, what they want, rather than what you're going to pre-rehearsed. Feed off the audience.
No, it is for me. Before I go on stage, I know what my set is for sure, and I tend to break. These days, I have a particular style of performance where I'm merging both the songs that make people dance, women cry, and open the heart and things. And then the second half of the concert is a meditation. And I take them in, and I'm using very unusual sounds, let's say. I have learned how to open the voice in such a way that I sing one tone when I sing. Then my voice starts split into two tones, so it's harmonic tone, two voices at the same time. Then I split it into three tones, so there's two harmonics in the original tone. And then I start to create positions that specifically open heart or specifically open up the center of the body, like the pineal glands or the crown to the soul or the womb, or you know, wherever I'm defining how I want to open that audience by what kind of harmonic composition I'm going to sing to them, and they're going into states of meditation. Also, practice with me to open up the heart. And so I consider my role there is to take them deep in the body through all the layers. First, the emotional body, get the tears flowing, get that joy flowing, get that love flowing again, and then take them deeper in the body to a state of total rest. So the body becomes totally soft and open and relaxed, and the mind starts to get very still. And the vibration of the body, the voice of my voice is starting to activate. So you'll see people in the audience sometimes spinning or shaking, sometimes crying, sometimes very still. It's not a random thing that I come in onto stage and just on the audience. It's a very direct pathway that I'm taking them on.
Do people come up to you after your concert and say how you touched them and how you changed their life?
Say that again, please.
Do people come up to you after the concert and tell how you touched them and changed their life?
Yeah, of course that's always a humbling thing, and it happens. I mean, people are crying, people want to hug me, you know, and I think that's the beautiful thing about, I can reflect off being a more normal musician, you know, to what I became over the years. So I'm 52 now, so it's been a long journey. And what really reflects to me how I was after a concert before, when I was a jazz singer, people say, "Oh, I really like the way you sang that song." But no, it's very much like people come crying, people want to hug, people wanting to meet their mother or their partner, or out in the street, was important because they're so grateful by the changes that are happening in their lives. So it's not just on the stage, and a lot going on in the concert. It's quite mind-blowing. You understand the level of transformation happening. But also I have a whole online world, and I have like 14 courses. The women go very deep into the meditation, go through a lot of healing processes, rape, birth their baby, etc. So yes, this is the transformation that when I meet what you call facts with enormous love, people don't just come and say, "Can I have a selfie?" Like on a piece. It's very. Can I? Deep gratitude with very respect, a deep gratitude. So that's the from the younger really wanted to be a great musician to one totally wanted to serve love.
Terri, give me an idea of who you are.
Okay. I am a fitness personality. I compete in fitness competitions. I haven't competed in a couple of years because I kind of got sidetracked, but I'm training again to compete in 2023. I'm also an artist. I'm creating an NFT collection right now. And then I also do some acting. I'm going to be in some music videos coming up this year for a band called Wicked Star. I'm going to be in 2 of their videos, and I've been with Brian for over 7 years as a co-host. So I do red carpet interviewing for Brian. I've also worked with Celebrity Connected, and then, yeah, that's kind of a basis. I'm located in California. I also want to inspire people, women. I'm in my early 50s, as you are. So I'm trying to take, some of my journey and try to, help women. I go through my own, battles of, aging and which is I think that my 50s are a weird time in my life. I don't know how they are for you, but I'm trying to, I don't know. It's just, I think I'm growing, but it's also, I want to help others, women kind of go through some of the trials that we go through, at this age, if that makes any sense, on fitness and going through menopause and how your body's changing. And it's just, I think we go through a lot of different hormonal changes at this stage in life. So it's been this last year has been an interesting journey. I'll say that.
Absolutely. Have you gotten more menopausal phase, and that's changed your relationship a little bit?
What was that? I'm sorry.
I said it's gone deeper into the menopausal phase, so it's changed your relationship to your body more.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things too, one of the things I want to do in the new year is talk a little bit about it, because I don't think that there's a lot of information out there on like how your hormones change with your diet, how much it changes with your emotions. And that you have to tweak different things because your metabolism doesn't work the same as it did when you were younger. So it's, you've got to tweak those things. Your sleep is important. There's just a lot of things with your health and your mind that change. And you go through depression, you go through, my mom is elderly now, so she's not well health-wise. There's just a lot of weird changes that happen at this age that I don't think that are discussed. So I kind of want to, maybe be not more of a life coach to women going through this stuff, and kind of like how I've dealt with it, and then how, I'm trying to get back on track in my fitness and trying to get back on stage to compete again.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's very much not discussed enough. But I think one of the things that is not discussed enough is that women feel often that they're less of a woman when they're going through
exactly.
this. And that's so not the truth because of the whole, youth adoration. I think one of the things we have to constantly talk about is what the source of beauty is, because a lot of women are trying to push themselves super hard to try and be the same as they were in their 30s, you know. And this is the biggest mistake we can make, because as long as we are pushing, we're basically denying that change, the fluidity that the body is asking you to be in. You know, deep listening is, I think, one of the most important qualities for us women to develop at any stage. And as you say, when you have these hormonal changes happening in the body, if you try and create more and more, as you say, depressed, etc. And one of the most profound things that I have as a woman in her 50s, I'm still a menstruating woman, but I'm certainly aware of the changes in the body. And there's one way to root this energy, and that's through feminine meditation. Because if you don't meditate and allow the body to release the fear going on there, there's a lot of anxiety. You have to consciously transform all the changes that are happening in the body daily. And that means giving the body a lot of love, a lot of care before you go, you know, and make sure that, you know, you do care, but in the right way. So that's what you're exploring, the right way. Don't stress that hormone system even more by pushing that body, by finding the exact right way. And I know, you know, as a woman, we and feminine dance, because we need to get the body very fluid, not just push, run hard, or, you know, or put Ashtanga yoga or something like that, but get body, get love and this sense of juicy, because that is the big thing that women are afraid of, is that they're juicy, that elixir of youth is never stop flowing. But the truth is, it never stops flowing. You connect with love, if you connect with the life force of the planet, and that is one of the most amazing ways to do that. Of course, singing as well, and coming from that kind of, how can I get the joy flowing through my body? How can I get my love flowing, love of my body? Because the hormonal system reflects a lot of our emotional body. So if we nourish ourselves with love, the hormonal system will find peace and balance.
Howard, tell her where you are. I want to know what you're wearing and what room are you in Nashville, Tennessee.
I'm in Brentwood, Tennessee, and tartan plaid jacket and hat. And I've got my Christopher Radko Christmas ornament on. It's one of his first. I was in a Christmas book with him, and so I did it in his honor for Christmas. But I like older women. I think they find their true self and don't hide behind just appearances. That inner beauty shines through. And everybody knows that I love Dolly. And I think that's because Dolly has an energy inside of her that's shared with others. And when I turned 60 and retired, I had the best time of my life, because I'm taking my life wherever it takes me. I'm not seeing those. I'm just seeing what is going to happen. And I'll turn 70 in September. And I'm thinking I might do some like sexy at 70 picture. I don't know.
You should.
I set goals for myself, and that keeps me going. That keeps me going. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's okay to go through, like, you know, because I mean, I might think, how am I going to say this? It's crazy how fast life goes. Like one day you're 20, and the next day you're 40, and then the next thing you're 60. So you just, you know, it goes by quickly. And I think sometimes like my head is still 25, and then I'm like, okay, I woke up 50. I'm like, how'd this happen? So sometimes you just have to kind of, I mean, it's part of life. It happens to all of us, and I don't think there's any reason to kind of go through okay, I'm not young anymore and I can go through these feelings. I think it's normal. And then it's normal to, but you have to embrace life because, you always have to go forward because you can never go backwards, if that makes any sense. But I think it's okay to have these feelings too. You know what I'm saying? That you just, because I think a lot of people do have them.
Yeah, what's happened to me is I try to create new experiences every day, do something a little different. Because a lot of times when people age, they do the same thing on the same day, go to the same restaurants. I want to meet new people. I want to try new experiences. I'm not scared to try anything, at least once. And I don't care what people think either, because, that's something that comes with age. You don't do those little childish games that you did in high school and stuff. And when you get older, you can almost say anything you want to say and people just laugh.
Yeah, and then you shouldn't be afraid to try new things or to try new hobbies or business. I mean, it's never too late until you're dead. That's really kind of like how I live my life. Like that's why I'm always trying new things. And if something doesn't work and it doesn't, let's say if I try something and I'm not successful, at least I tried, so therefore I didn't fail. And that's the way that I kind of look at anything that I do in my life. And I always have. But it's important, to at least go out there and go for your dreams. So even if you're, 80, like it's, you got one life to live and you might as well go for your dreams.
So for me, it's all about prayer. I'm all about Mother Earth. I'm all about healing. I like anything that's environmentally friendly, sustainable, and then giving back to those people, helping them, listening to them. What do you have for advice for people who are going through a lot of stuff? And then talk about prayer healing. How important is that?
Is that a question for me?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
About prayer. Yeah. Absolutely. Actually, when I was a younger woman, I was in constant prayer. I was, for about 11 years, I was carrying what's called a medicine pipe. And it's exactly kind of, as you said, really like in constant prayer at morning time, at sunset time, and a lot of prayer for people and a lot of prayer for the planet. And this used to be very much the ritual and the rhythm of my life, as it is, I suppose, for some religions, and for some tribal religions as well. But then something kind of changed for me. I didn't find myself so much in prayer anymore, but more in action and in meditation. So prayer is very much about, the word and please help, etc. I think prayer is an amazing thing. It's an amazing tool, to keep yourself focused on helping yourself, helping other people or the planet, or however you look at that. But then I think there's behind prayer, and I think meditation, where the mind isn't so much praying anymore. There's experience of wanting to so deeply, mind starts to slow down, and you get into this connection with the unified field, with the earth field. Understand you're good, you're wholesome, and it's this feeling of being unified, being whole, that everything's in its right place, and especially deep in the body. So this is a very important, for me, root practice behind any work, any prayer. Actually, to sort of fill up that cup, which is the body, and it needs to be filled with love, because one cup is empty if your body is in a very fast vibration that is just, you want to be able to help people, right? And you can to a degree, but you don't have connection that deep nourishment and deep potential to be able to have access to real power and to love. So for me, behind it is meditation. And then there's prayer, right? Where you use the words to please God, or maybe you're using it in a way that you interview. It's a prayer. That's what I feel. energy, you know, the healing that comes through the word, through the intent, clarity of that. So I think there's levels of power that we have access to healing. And first is meditation, then it comes into prayer, and then it inevitably, in everything we do in daily life, when it's rooted with something very true, very authentic, we have the power to be able to act it out in daily life. And but I love what you said about always doing from a new place. And when you touch that huge in life of inside the body and with the, she's always doing things new. Like there's nothing's ever the same in nature. And when we live that way, then we're bring new energy. And that's of youth. It's also like an exchange that we have with other people. When you newly say hello, how are you? Newly smile at them, newly offer them something in the moment of spontaneity that connects and feels like it brings healing to people. This is a flow between your innate source of wholesomeness and into the. I guess I've just explored that subject a little bit, you know, going through the layers of our possibility of what it means to be connected, loved, life, that free, you know, that keeps us young.
You know, one thing I found for myself is I get an energy from the audience. When I was young, I didn't have confidence to get in front of people, but you feel them and you feel the excitement that you create with the audience. And I did a little event the other day where I played an artist and I wasn't supposed to talk at the beginning. People that knew me didn't know me until I spoke. So that just gave me a thrill because you can touch somebody's life or hide behind a persona. And I love that part of being an actor. That's why I guess I dress a lot. I mean, I want to become different people, and every day is a new experience. I could be a cowboy, I could be a gentleman, I could be whatever I want to be. So I like to do different styles of dressing all the time.
And you are, Howard. You are different. Well,
yeah, I like to surprise myself and my audience because they get a kick out of it. So,
hey, DJ, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Perry. Go ahead.
No, I think, I mean, it's great when you can keep your audience on their toes and it reminds them to explore. I think, you know, that's the value of 50s, 60s, 70s. I think if you understand Howard and that you become a hero and inspiration for people like yourself.
right. Absolutely.
So I'm coming to see Howard pretty soon in the next 48 hours. I'm going to Nashville, Tennessee. And then DJ, I want to show this clip. And then Terri, we can talk about the event that was in Los Angeles.
Okay.
We take LA to Nashville. Go ahead, DJ. Howard, I look forward to seeing this. I love your singing and everything like that. Terri, talk about the experience when it was in Los Angeles, what it was like for the audience.
It was great. I mean, it was really nice. We had a showcase of all Judy Garland's costumes, from Wizard of Oz to just, I don't know, several of her movies. It was a fabulous event. I have to also say that I have the fragrance. The fragrance is beautiful. It's unisex for men and women, and I get compliments every time I wear it. But yeah, Vincent had it was a wonderful showing. It was very elegant. I'm a little bit bummed that I'm not going to be able to make the Nashville event, but I'm sure you guys are going to have a blast. And yeah, it's one of my favorite fragrances. I love it, Brian.
I will get you a new one because there's a different one coming too.
Oh, there's a new one coming. Oh, great.
Yep.
Love it.
And then Peruquois, when are you coming into Los Angeles? When are you coming into the US anytime soon?
Not for about in 1 year. So no, not anytime very, very soon yet. I'm just building connection again with the USA. I've been out of the USA actually since I think 2015 when I came into LA, and I recorded a song called Be Yourself with a great producer Heather Holly, who was producing some of Christina Aguilera's earlier stuff. So that was actually the last time I was in LA. So, but yeah, in about a year, I think I'll be back in the States.
Well, when you come back, I'm going to make sure that I invite you, and I'm going to make sure I have one of the fragrances for you because I love your voice. I love what you're doing, especially what you're doing for women.
Thank you kindly. Thank you. And yes, greatly received. I'm a huge good Judy Garland fan as well. She's a very, very inspiring woman with a tragic story and such a hard journey to push through and be that shining woman that she was.
All right, Terri, you got about 2 minutes left. What's your advice for women that are going through stuff? How do you leave them inspired from nonstop?
Basically, just always move forward. Life is a gift, and to remember that. And no matter how bad things are, you can always change your situation around. I think a lot of people since COVID have dealt with depression. It's normal to go through these feelings, but just to not give up. And that the world is full. There's a lot there. The world is full of love. You just have to look for it, and you have to give that love out, and then that love will come back to you. And just, and when you find yourself in that mindset to kind of look in the mirror and say that you're a precious child of God and that you are loved, and the universe will give that back to you.
Social media links.
My social media link is Nonstop Terri Marie on all platforms. And then my website where I've got like my fitness and my hosting interviews, which I will be updating very soon, is terrimariaofficial.com.
Howard, what's your inspirational piece for people before the year ends? What do you have? I know you got something.
Well, I'm looking so forward to the Judy Garland event because that's one thing I've been set my goal on and work with the people and meet them. But like I said, I'm going to see where life takes me, and it's Howard Wiggins Facebook. I have 3 Facebooks, but just the one that just says Howard Wiggins Facebook is the one I want you to go on. I always change my picture. I always I'll keep you entertained because I'm either dancing or doing something. I enjoy life. And I think when people enjoy life, it inspires others. And I don't do anything that's political or controversy. I just want to be happy, and I want to share my happiness with others. So inspire them to do better.
And the beautiful young lady with the necklace, you get the last word of the night. Go for it.
Be yourself. Don't try to impress. Baby, there isn't anybody else quite like you. Don't try to imitate the universe. It doesn't make mistakes. Authenticity. Only way you live your life freely. Be yourself. So that's my message. And you can find me on Peruquios.com. As I said, all my music, about 15 courses there to support women through our transformation. YouTube and Peruquios on Instagram. So thank you so much for having me. It's been a great pleasure to meet you all. Such an interesting collection of people.
And thank you for getting up so early, Island. And
Not
with
so
that, as
difficult.
I always say this, have a good night tonight, a better day tomorrow. If you see someone without a smile, please give me one of those because the world needs it. I'm Brian Sebastian. This is Movie Reviews and More. We will see you next week.